Very good morning, all the students of ninth standard. As you know that we are learning the second one points of our political science, that is the foreign policy. India's foreign policy, page number 66. In this, we are learning the next point, factor influencing the foreign policy. Which factors are there in India's foreign policy, or which factors influence to our Indian foreign policy? This one point we are learning. Then uh, see, Indian foreign policy, or the foreign policy decide what kind of relations to have with which country in the international system. That foreign policy is there in foreign policy, it is totally different. It decide that what kind of relations we are maintaining, or we have to maintain with our neighboring country or with the foreign countries at the dealing international uh, activities there, or in the international systems. But several factors affect the foreign policy while it is being decided. When we are going to decide, at the time some of the factors are there that factor effect to Indian foreign policy. So which are the factors that we'll see? Geographical location, first one point, that is a geographical location. We must have seen the globe of our map, or the earth or the world. You can see the geographical location of any nations from that geographical location. We can see by observing, by seeing globe or the map there. Some countries are far away from us, or some of the countries they are neighboring, they are close, or some of the countries their boundaries attached, their coastline we share the boundary or the coastline there. Some of the countries they have the long coastline, some of the countries they have the less coastline, some of the countries are totally surrounded by the water, some of the countries are they do not have the coastline only. So some of the countries they are fully available with the natural or the mineral resources, and some of the countries they are they have the lackness about the wealth or the natural resources, mineral there. Population is more, sometimes population is less. Topography, coastline, geographical condition, region of that areas, coastline, availability of the natural resources, all these factors need to be considered while framing the foreign policy. So these are the important factors are there in the geographical location. These factors are important when we are framing the foreign policy of our of any country, then whether we are strong or not, whether we have plenty of mineral natural resources or not, and what kind of economic condition is there, population is there, geographical condition, location, it is important. Then next, political systems. In a democratic political system, the nation's parliament plays a major role in evolving foreign policy. In a democratic country or in the democratic government, parliament plays important key role to frame or while structure framing foreign policy there. When different aspects come up for discussion in parliament, the opposition party try to regulate the foreign policy by raising question about the same there. See, ruling party there, ruling party frame the foreign policy or the rules there, but the opposition party there in the parliament, opposite party will raise the questions about the same foreign policy, that they'll find out, they'll study, and what are the lackness are there, faults are there, defaults are there, that they take out and that they raise in the parliaments. So opposition party is also played an important key role in the democratic government. If whatever we are saying that to find out the lackness or the faults from that, if some of another persons are there, they can understand. See, to frame, to make things it is difficult, but to find out the questions, to find out the fault or difficulty means problems, defect from the things, it is easy to for anyone, that anyone can, they can find out the lackness there easily then. So when the many persons they are there in the parliament, they find out all the difficult means questions, the doubts, which are the things, rules are not good, policies are not good, laws are, that there is there, on that the debate is there, discussions goes on continuously. Federal political systems have to take into account the inclination of the constituent states while shaping the foreign policy. That federal government system is there, they to take the opinion of the state there, because the affair in the neighboring nations affect the constituent states also, that their relations foreign policies affect to the state also there. So the in a federal government system, they have to take opinion of the states also there. For example, the events in Sri Lanka may affect Tamil Nadu, and those in Bangladesh may not affect West Bengal and the Northeast Indian state there. What is there? If anyone effect is there, it affect that event effect to the Tamil Nadu also there, but it will not be effect to the West Bengal side. But if it is something in the West Bengal side to the northeastern state or the Kolkata side, it affect to that also there. The situation is like this way. The peace and stability in the neighboring country is important. Peace and the stability is very important of the neighboring countries there, as that within our country. Hence, India has to take efforts to create a democracy in the neighboring country there. So we try to establish democracy in the our neighboring country also. If something problem is there in the neighboring country, that effect will be in our side also. Some of the caste religions are nearby, same only there also and here also. Their relatives are there here and there. So it affect. Next one, economy. In a modern time, the economic condition of any country has acquired a great importance in deciding foreign policy. In present time, economical condition of every country is important when they decide, when they deal with the foreign policy that they are dealing with that or framing the foreign policy. As a result of the economy, impact of foreign policy in two ways. How the foreign economy impact on the foreign policy, that we will see. Foreign policy is shaped by the need to establish the economic relationship with the other country there. So our foreign policy there, our foreign policy it we shape our foreign policy to fulfill the economical needs there, or to maintain the economical relationship with the neighboring countries. Import and export is there, participation in the world trade or the business there, all aim and the strengthening the economy of our country. So all these aims are there, all these aspects they strengthen to the economical condition of our country. In today's world, the issue of economic countries are very important as a national security. So in today's world, what is that? In today's time, issue of economic security is also very important as a national security. How the economic security is important, like same way national security is also important. A country is recognized to be powerful in proportions to the economical security is enjoy. That means the people, those who live, citizens, those who live in that country, in how much proportion or quantity they enjoy that economical security, in that proportion that country we can say as a powerful. Countries having a strong economy are less dependent on those who have the strong economy. Such countries are less dependent on other countries. It is proved that they can have an independent foreign policy as well. That, for example, America may less depend on other countries, so it has a strong economy, a strong foreign policy, national leadership of the country. The president, the prime ministers, the foreign ministers, defense ministers, economic or the finance ministers, home ministers have a role in the dealing the foreign policy. So these are the important persons are there. These ministers or the person, they have important role. They have their important role in the framing the foreign policy. The person holding these positions try to maintain the continuity in a foreign policy. A person who is maintaining these relations, handling these posts, that person always try to maintain the continuity or continuity in his foreign policy. For example, we can say that, and also to improve upon it, he always try to improve. For example, Pandit Jawaharlal Nehru contributed the policy of non-alignment to Indian foreign policy, not to join to anyone that during the time of Cold War also there. Prime Minister Atal Bihari Vajpayee also contributed a great deal in improving the Sino-Indian relationship, to improve the relationship between the India and China. This we have seen. Do you agree with? If yes, then why, and if not, then why not? Write in detail. In order to increase the economic power of the nation, instead of focusing on elevation of poverty, efforts should be made to increase the wealth and buying capacity of the people. Are you agree with this? What is that? In order to be increase the economic power of the nations, instead of focusing on the poverty, that what is the poverty in our country, weakness, poorness is there, to focusing on that, instead of that we have to focus to increase the wealth and buying capacity of our country. If you are agree, then why you are agree, if you are not agree, then why you are not agree, that we have to write your opinion it is there. Downside some chart is complete the following list. Complete the list by writing the contribution made by the following leaders. For example, Lal Bahadur Shastri, Tashkent Agreement is there. Indira Gandhi is, Rajiv Gandhi, Atal Bihari Vajpayee. Name the prime ministers who followed these policies. Look East policy, efforts to increase the foreign direct investment. So this chart we have to complete. It is today's your homework. When you come tomorrow, then we'll come with the next one, fifth one point. Till at that time, you read out and complete this one chart. Send me the photo of this.